Good morning everyone. This is Madhavi Karamodi, Assistant Professor in CLC Department. In this lecture, I'll talk about queue data structure. In the previous lectures, we have discussed about stack data structure. So this is another kind of linear data structure. In this lecture, we will discuss about what is a queue and what are the uses of the queue. What are the operations that we can perform on the queues. So first see the definition of the queue data structure. First of all, queue is a linear data structure. That means here the elements are arranged in sequential fashion one after the other. So how can we define this queue data structure is, it is a collection of ordered data elements and this queue contains two ends. Unlike stack, here the queue contains two ends. One end we will use it for insertion and another end we will use it for deletion. Let us see the diagram of the queue. The queue data structure will looks like this. It's just like a array 1. So here there will be two ends open for the queue. In case of stack, only one end open for us. With that end only we can insert the elements as well as we can delete the elements. But in the case of queue, we have two ends open for us. One end we can use it for insertion and another end we can use it for deletion. Let us see. So here the queue contains two ends. Those we are calling it as front and rear ends. Front and rear ends. We will use front end for deleting the elements from the queue, deletion purpose, and we will use this rear end for inserting the elements into the queue, insertion purpose. Okay, so let us see here. This end we are calling it as rear end and this end we are calling it as front end. Okay, so how can we define this queue data structure is, it is a ordered collection of data elements and it has two ends. One end we will use it for insertion and another end we will use it for deletion. So which end we will use it for insertion, that end we are calling it as a rear end, and the end that is used for deletion is called it as a front end. Okay, so just like a stack data structure, here this queue data structure also we can implement in two ways. One way is by using arrays and another way is using pointers, or we can also call it as linked list. Okay, and one more important point about this queue data structure is, this queue data structure follows FIFO principle. FIFO. As I said, in the case of stack data structure follows LIFO, last in first out principle. That means lastly inserted element deleted first. But in case of queue, it follows FIFO principle. That means first inserted element, first in, first out. First in, first out. So what is the meaning of first in, first out is, whatever element that is inserted first, that element will be eligible for deleting. Okay. So if you see the real-time examples for this queue data structure, if you see queue at railway reservation systems or queue at any ticket counter systems. So who will enter in the queue first, that person only will get the ticket first. So that is one of the best real-time example for queue. And if you see one more example, if you take traffic system, one-way traffic system. So whatever vehicle that enters into that road, so that vehicle will exit first, right? So this is also one of the example for queue. So first inserted element will be deleted first. So this is the important point about queues. Let us see the operations that can be performed on the queues. Operations of the queue. As just like other data structures, on queues also we can perform insertion operation as well as deletion operation. But here in queue, the insertion operation is called it as NQ. NQ operation. And the deletion operation we are calling it as DQ. Insertion and deletion. Okay, just like insertion and deletion, we have few more functions. That is, if you want to display the elements of the queue, we'll use display function. And if you want to return the front element of the queue, we'll use peek function. And if you want to check whether the queue is full or not, we have isFull function. We can use isFull function. Or if you want to check whether the queue is empty or not, we can use isEmpty functions. So out of these 6 functions, NQ, DQ and display, these 3 are very important operations in queue. Let us see these 3 operations with examples. In next video, I will explain the code for these all these operations. So now see one example, how to insert the elements into the queue and how to remove the elements from the queue. See the insertion operation. Insertion. So here, just now I told you, queue can be implemented in 2 ways. One is by using arrays and another way is by using pointers. So there are a lot of advantages and disadvantages in both the implementations. So whenever you have or whenever you know the size of the queue, then we can go for array implementation. Suppose while implementing or while creating the queue itself, if you are unable to decide the size, then better go for linked list representation. Okay, let us see how to insert the elements into the queue by using NQ operation. Just assume that my queue size is 5. Okay, that means 5 elements we can insert into the queue. So here my queue size is 5. 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so here the queue contains 2 ends, front end as well as rear end. Front end we will use it for deletion purpose and rear end we will use it for insertion purpose, right? So initially there are no elements in the queue. We have not yet started insertion operation, so there are no elements into the queue. So initially rear pointer points to, we need to initialize rear pointer to -1. Okay, if you want to insert the element into the queue, the insertion will be done from the rear side. So if you want to insert the element into the queue, first increment the rear pointer by 1, then wherever the rear pointer is pointing, at that position you can perform the insertion. Let us see that one. So initially there are no elements in the queue, so rear value is -1. And there are no elements, so of course front value will also be -1. Right? Now we are performing insertion operation. Just assume that here I want to insert 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. First try to insert 10. Insert 10. So where to insert 10? From which end we can insert 10? From the rear end. So increment the rear pointer by 1. Then insert the element wherever the rear pointer is pointing. So increment the rear pointer by 1. Initially it is -1. So increment the rear pointer. So it comes to the 0th position. Now the 0th position is empty. So wherever the 0th rear pointer is pointing, just at that position insert the value 10. So here the value 10 will be inserted. Suppose if you want to insert 20, now the rear pointer is at 0th position. Okay. Now see, after insertion of 10 into the queue, queue is not empty, right? If queue is not empty, front should not be -1. So here the queue contains one element. If the queue contains one element, compulsory that element will be the first element as well as last element. In the queue, first element will be pointed by the rear pointer. Recently inserted element will be pointed by the rear pointer, and first inserted element will be pointed by the front pointer. Now here queue is not empty, so front should not points to -1. That is the reason why after first insertion, along with the rear pointer, we should also increase or increment front pointer by 1. Now after first insertion, both front pointer and rear pointer is pointing 0th location. Now see, try to insert the second element, right? So where to insert second element? Wherever the rear pointer is pointing. But here the rear pointer is pointing 0th position. So while inserting the elements into the queue, we need to follow few steps. First step is, we need to check whether the queue is full or not. Because if the queue is full, insertion is not possible. So that condition we are calling it as overflow condition. Okay. Second step is, suppose if the queue is not full, then we need to show the empty location for the new element. So for that, we need to move the rear pointer to the next available location. Now third step is, wherever rear pointer is pointing, there we need to insert the element. Let us see here, just check whether the queue is full or not. So how to check the queue is full or not? When the queue becomes full, whenever your rear pointer reaches to the maximum position, or whenever the rear pointer position is greater than maximum position, then that indicates that queue is full. Now see, here our queue size is 5. That means 5 elements we can store it. Here you are implementing queue using arrays. So indexes starts from 0 to 4. So last location means 4th index. That means if your rear pointer value is maximum size -1, that means if your size is 5, that means 5 minus 1. If it is at 4th position, 4th index, that indicates that queue is full. Or, so this condition indicates the full condition or overflow condition. Or otherwise, if your rear is greater than the size of the queue. Suppose if your rear pointer is pointing 6th index. In our queue, we have only 4 indexes. 5 locations. If your rear is pointing 6th index, means that is out of range, right? That means queue is full. So how can we frame the condition for full condition is, if your rear pointer is greater than equal to size -1, that indicates that queue is full. See here, in this example, your rear position is 0. Okay. It is here this condition fails. That indicates that queue contains some empty locations. Alright. Now try to insert 20. So before inserting 20, what we need to do? We need to increment the rear pointer by 1. So rear pointer moves to the first index position. Right. Now this position is empty. Now wherever the rear pointer is pointing, there we need to insert 20. So rear pointer is pointing at index 1. So insert 20 there. Right. Now see, now I want to insert 30. Insert 30. Now the front pointer is in first position and rear pointer is in second position. Okay. So at every insertion we need to move only rear pointer. Front pointer should be same. it should not be incremented because the front pointer should, that means the front end we will use it for only deletion. Okay. Now see, if you want to insert 30. So where to insert 30? In the next available location, right? So before inserting 30, we need to verify whether the queue is full or not. Okay. So here queue is pointing, rear pointer is pointing at index 1. Okay. When the queue becomes full, if rear pointer is greater than or equal to size minus 1. But here the condition failed. That means queue is not full. So if queue is not full, increment the rear pointer by 1. Then insert the element at the rear position. Queue of rear position 30. So here the 30 will be inserted. Similarly, if you want to insert 40. So what we need to do? Just increment the rear pointer by 1. Then wherever the rear pointer is pointing, insert the element. Now if you want to insert 50. Insert 50. Okay, if you want to insert 50. See, here also same. Increment the rear pointer by 1. And wherever the rear is pointing, at that position, insert the value 50. So here we can insert 50. Right? Now try to insert one more element 60. Right? So here also, after every insertion or before inserting every element, we need to verify whether the queue contains some empty locations or not, or whether the queue is full or not. Now see, here we need to check whether the queue is full or not. How to check the condition? If this condition is met, that indicates that queue is full. Verify it here. Queue of rear. Here rear is pointing 4th index. Okay. So here rear equal to size minus 1. Right? That condition satisfied. That indicates that queue is full. There are no empty locations in the queue. If there are no empty locations in the queue, if you try to insert the element into the queue, it will be overflows. So the queue full condition, we are calling it as a overflow condition. So these are the this is the way to insert the elements into the queue. So once again I will explain the steps for inserting the elements into the queue. First step is we need, before performing the insertion operation, we need to check whether the queue is full or not. So how to check the queue is full or not? If the queue rear, always insertion will be done from the rear end. If the queue rear pointer points to size minus 1, that indicates that queue is full. Second step is, if the queue contains some empty locations, increment the rear pointer by 1. Okay, that means so that we are moving rear pointer to the next available location. Now third step is, wherever the rear pointer is pointing, at that position we can insert it. So these are the 3 steps we need to follow while performing the insertion operation in queue. So the insertion operation of the queue is also called as NQ operation. NQ. So in case of starts insertion operation, we are calling it as push operation. In case of queue, the insertion operation, we are calling it as NQ operation. Okay, this is the way of inserting the elements. Let us see the DQ operation. So DQ operation means deletion operation. So in queue, from which end we can perform the deletion? From the front end. Let us see an example. Suppose we have 5 elements in the queue. Five elements in the queue. So after inserting 5 elements, rear points to the fifth element and front will be in the first position. Now here the deletion will be done from the front side only or front end only. Now see, if you want to delete 10 or if you want to delete the element from the queue, we can delete it from the front end because the queue follows FIFO principle. First inserted element will be removed first. First in, first out. So first inserted element is 10. So we can delete 10 only from the queue first. Okay. So how to delete the 10 from the queue is, first remove the element 10. Okay. After removal of 10, automatically that location will be empty. So front should not point to the empty location. Front always points to the front element of the queue. Now after deletion of 10 here, 20 becomes front element, right? So that is the reason why we need to move the front pointer to the next position. Or we can also call it as increment the front pointer by the 1. Okay. So here, while performing deletion operation, what are the steps we need to follow is, first we need to verify whether the queue is empty or not. Because on empty queue, we cannot perform the deletion operation. So first of all, we need to verify whether the queue is empty or not. So how to verify whether the queue is empty or not? When the queue becomes empty, whenever the front pointer is pointing -1 or whenever your rear pointer is pointing -1, that indicates that queue is empty. But here in this example, initially queue is pointing 0th position. So queue is not empty. Okay. So before deleting the element from the queue, first we need to verify whether the queue is empty or not. Second one, remove the element from the front position. Third step, move the front pointer to the next front element or increment the front pointer by 1. These are the 3 steps we need to follow while deleting the element from the queue. Let us see, after deletion of 10 from the queue, what are the positions of front and rear pointers? Always rear will be in the last position, front will be in the front element. That is, now the front is pointing 1. Now which element is eligible for deletion, next deletion? 20, because 20 is the front element now. Now try to delete 20. So if you want to delete 20, first remove 20 from the memory, remove 20 from the queue, then make the next element as front element. So how to make the next element as front element? Increment the front pointer by 1. Increment the front pointer by 1. Right? Now after deletion of 20, front is pointing second index, that is third element, and rear is pointing fifth element. Right? Now if you want to delete 30, what we need to do? First, remove the element from the queue, move the front pointer to the next position. Increment the front pointer by 1. So every time we need to, after performing the deletion operation, we need to increment the front pointer by 1. Now if you want to delete 40, so remove 40 from the memory, increment the front pointer by 1. Right? Now front pointer points to the last index, that is 50 element. Now in our queue, here we can see that our queue contains only one element. Okay. If it is on the board, we can say that our queue contains one element. But how can, if this queue is stored in the memory, in the computer memory, then how can we recognize whether the queue contains one element or 2 elements or 3 elements? So simple thing is, whenever the front and rear both are pointing same memory location or same index, that indicates that queue contains only one element in the list. Suppose if both front and rear pointers pointing -1, that indicates that queue is empty. Other than -1, if front pointer and rear pointer both are pointing any other memory location, then that indicates that queue contains only one element. Now if you see in this scenario, After deletion of 40 from the memory or from the queue, both front and rear are pointing same location. That indicates that queue contains only one element in the list, or queue contains only one element, right? Now if you try to delete 50 also from the memory, right, then what we need to do? First remove 50, then increment the front pointer by 1. If you increment the front pointer by 1, automatically it goes out of the size, right? Because our queue size is only 5 elements size. That means the index starts from 0 to 4. Whenever you remove the fifth element, automatically the queue becomes empty, right? So if you increment the front pointer by 1, it goes out of ranges, out of bounds. So that indicates that queue is empty. Okay, so automatically the front and rear both becomes out of ranges. So in that case, we need to set both front and rear pointers to -1 to show the queue as empty. So this is about the deletion operation. Okay, I will revise this queue, few points on this queue. So first of all, queue is a linear data structure, and in queue we can perform insertion operation from the rear end and the deletion operation from the front end. Unlike the stack, here the queue contains two ends. One end we are calling it as rear end and another end we are calling it as front end. And this queue follows FIFO principle, first in first out principle. That means first inserted element will be deleted first, or first inserted element will be eligible for first out. So this is about the queue. Now if you see the queue operations, in queue we can perform the insertion operation, we can remove the elements from the queue. The insertion operation of the queue we are calling it as NQ, and deletion operation of the queue is called it as DQ. So other than that, there are remaining common methods, that is display function. Display function is used for printing all the elements of the queue. Next one, peek function. Peek function will not remove the element from the queue. Peek function returns, it simply returns the front element of the queue. Next one is easeful function. Easeful function is used for checking whether the queue is full or not. And next one is isEmpty function. That isEmpty function is used for verifying whether the queue is empty or not. These are the commonly used operations on queues. And if you coming to the implementation part, we can implement a queue in two ways. One is by using arrays and another one is by using linked list or pointers. So this is the overall discussion about queues. In next video, I'll explain how to write the code for NQ and DQ and display functions. This is all about queues. So in next video, I will come with the operations of queues. Thank you. Thank you once.